Alright guys, Thronebreaker EQ, I know it's not as exciting as usual, but the bosses were a little bit more tricky this month. The first boss is Omega Sentinel with Gimme Shelter. So an auto block counter, unless you've got someone with a lot of buffs, I'm going to do both. I'm going to go Angela with the Odin pre-fights, and then I can pretty much ignore the annoying part of the node, which is that you have to have a certain amount of buffs to ignore the extra auto block on top of the auto block that she has in her kit already. So this makes it pretty easy for you. Again, even if your Angela is not Sig 200, if you put the Odin pre-fights on, you should be pretty close to being able to completely ignore auto block. And I think I only actually trigger an auto block near the end here, and it's going to fail, and it's great. So super easy fight with Angela. The next one up is Longshot. I did this one with Kingpin, but he's kind of annoying because you need to, if you put a non-damaging debuff on, it's going to make him unblockable. So there goes I keep going for parries, which I probably shouldn't have. And there is also the encroaching stun on the node. Also, you don't want someone with a ton of buffs. I think I gain a buff and it gets purified or nullified there. And I lose a bunch of health there, so I don't want to deal with a lot of buffs. And that's fine. There is some disorient on this. Kingpin, if I would have gone in again, I wouldn't mind bringing Kingpin again. Just go ahead and maybe bring in his synergy to make sure he purifies the debuffs on him a little easier. And then we end up, luckily, I think we do get stunned here, or I tried to get the special off in time, and it just, the encroaching stun timer went so slow there at the end, and I still end up, it's fine. His special one going, if it's unblockable, not a problem. Kingpin is a tank here, so definitely some stuff. I probably should have played stun immune most of the time there, instead of going for the parries and letting him go unblockable, but it really wasn't the end of the world, and Kingpin is a tank, and he's gonna get me through it, even though I eat a combo to the face. But this was like my first time doing it, and this is a realistic solo here. I'm sure I'll get better at it as I go through this month's event quest. Next up is Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler is very annoying because after he throws a special, you have to knock him down with a heavy, and his evades can be very annoying. I went with Iceman to go ahead and put the cold snap on, but what's going to happen is that I need to be able to throw the special one to keep this cold snap active, and he also has an unblockable timer. So my problem is I was too close to him and I let him get the unblockable, and because of that, I don't have time to go for like a parry heavy to knock him down, and I'm going to take a chunk of health loss right there. So what I end up doing here is I try to I use my striker there after that special to get off a heavy. Then and again here, I wasn't paying attention to the unblockable timer. I was more focused on getting the cold snap up to avoid his evades. And then I countered his special 2 there with a heavy again. So this time, again, I'm going to throw the special one. I'm going to back away. This time I get the unblockable, so I can actually attack into him freely. And I counter that special with a heavy, and we knock him out. So it's a little bit of a tricky one there. Mojo. Very annoying. Your best bet is to bring a buff immune champion. Total buff immunity. Spider-Man 2099 Titania. And the only way to do damage on this fight is a special with prowess. Now you're saying to yourself, how do I get prowess with a champion that has no prowess in the kit? The node is if you block a part of Mojo's special, then you will gain prowess. The easiest part is probably either the beginning or end of the special 1 or the beginning or the end of the special 2. And at the beginning of this fight, I could not get the parry to go, and I'm going to end up taking a bunch of damage, and eventually I will get it working. And again, this is the first time I'm trying this one here, so I need to figure out how to parry a special, which is not my favorite thing to do, okay? Which is why I'm trying to tell you what I was thinking as I was going through this. So I end up trying there again, could not get the parry, tried to parry again at the end, did not work that time, but it is something that you could probably even practice in a, if you just duel your own. So there I got the prowess on I parried the first part of the special one. So then after that special one ends, I get that purple icon, the prowess. I can drop my special 3 and I can get a good chunk of damage off. Okay, so I'm not going to be, that's what I need to do a couple of times. So here's a special 2 that Mojo's going to throw, hopefully. And I'm going to try and get a couple parries off here. 1, 2, and I only end up getting 2. But at least I get 2 prowess. Also, it's Matador, so I'm only going to gain a bar of power when Mojo gains a bar of power. When Mojo throws a special. So Mojo throws another special. I still have those 2 prowess, and I can go ahead and throw my special 2. There's where my damage is going to come in here. If you go in with like a champion that has prowess, the problem is that Mojo is going to be nullifying buffs and is going to give you a ton of degen. So buff immune is definitely the helpful way to go here. So again, I parried a portion of that special and I was able to gain a prowess. Now I'm waiting for a special 2, and again I screw up on the special 1, but it's fine here. I'm going to go ahead, parry, screw it up, but okay, we're at the end here. We're almost dead, but it's fine. We're going to intercept with a special 2, and now we're going to try and play this smart. We get another prowess off by parrying the beginning of that special 1. And again, Mojo has tenacity, so your parries aren't going to be reliable in this one. So getting the openings with Titania, definitely helpful. And again, we had the prowess, so I'm going to go Striker, heavy into special 2, gets a ton of damage off. And again, same thing here. I'm going to try right here at the end to parry, didn't work, so I got to go ahead and work for another opening. Luckily, I can get my Haymaker off, so I can get myself another opening there and see if I can actually get a parry off here on Mojo's special 1. There I go. I get the parry at the beginning, and again, I get a free prowess, and I get an opening for a big special 2. So I just have to do that one more time. Again, missed it on that one, and this is definitely one of the more annoying fights, this EQ. But I'm sure I'll get better at it as I go. But there again, I get the prowess, I get the parry on it, I go another Striker, heavy into special 2, and finish off Mojo with a solo. It is definitely one of the harder ones. Let me know who you used in the comments down below. Now, Dazzler, there is one ability that I realized afterwards. There's Bubble Shield, Inside Out. If you're too close to her, you're going to get rooted. Ebb and Flow Intercept. But you're going to see at the very beginning, it's subtle. It's not a ton, but when I go for my phase with Viv, I took some damage, and I had no clue what happened there. But she has an ability, her awakened ability is when during her hits, she can't take damage. So I believe when I'm phasing during her hit and I'm hitting her, instead of doing damage there, it gets reflected back onto me. That is the issue there. There is also so if you get too close to her, you're going to get rooted. There is a bit of damage reflect there in this particular case with Viv, and you have to watch out for a falter when she gets to like 10 of her charges on the right there. I think it's in stacks of 10 or so. There's going to be a falter there on her next like dash in. So you got to be careful about the falter. There's a couple times where that comes into play, where I go for like a phase and like she dashes in and I do my parry, and we both kind of are missing each other. So right there, we're both missing each other because she's dashing in and getting a falter on me, and I'm putting a falter on her, which is an interesting interaction there. But I'm able to get two of my special 1s off. Then I go for a full combo, and I realize she is kind of like power locked over a bar of power there. So I couldn't get an unblockable special 1 off. I had to go for another phase into a special 1. And Viv still got her down pretty easily, but there is some nuance there in the fight. And last, with Spiral here, the initial thought was to bring in a buff immune champ, but that is not going to work. Anytime a buff would be removed or just doesn't pop up at all, because you're buff immune, you're going to take damage. So you can't use that. So I end up going in with Kingpin here. Now, the main thing is your second light attack can get a counter parry if she has her dancing swords. So it's a purple icon on the top. And what's going to happen is I didn't look at Spiral's animations at all. So you're going to see here, I thought I could dash in after that special one. Really, there's a beam involved. Now she has those dancing swords. And right there, my second light attack I got passively parried. So I intercept with a special 2. I do need to knock her down. There's make a stand, so you got to knock her down in order to do damage here. And again, I'm just kind of learning this one on the fly, but there's going to be a couple times where I have no idea what's happening there. Here, we've got the special 2. That second beam I probably could have countered, but I didn't because I didn't really know the animation well. And there you can see, again, second light attack when she has that purple icon on the top, gave me that passive stun. Instead here, I'm going to counter with a striker into a heavy and get her done. So let me know in the comments who you used for these fights, and any tips will be helpful for everyone else. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.